And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I read you those cryptocurrency news articles so you can stay informed on what's going on. And what is up with my hair? It is like flat, long. That's what you get when you drive a convertible, right? The wind blowing, your hair gets all messy, but yeah. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Hope everyone's having a fabulous Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Who's getting tacos? Not me. I'm getting chilies. That's what my assistant's going to go get me today. But yeah, so what's going on in the news? We have the US dollar facing competition now with stablecoins. Like, is this a real competition or not? Well, we'll find out in that article. We got a couple other articles talking about how the DOJ is seeking 20 years on the Celsius person there. So, And how is El Salvador still buying Bitcoin and being compliant with the IMF? All those news articles we will be covering today. So let's not waste any time and let's dive right on into the news. But before we go, can someone just give me a quick sound check in the comments if you are there listening? Just yesterday we had no sound. I had to end the video and then redo it all. No, but it looks like we are good. So, yep, let's go into the news. What is going on? So again, first up is the article on the US dollar is facing a growing competition for stablecoin dominance, says the Tether co-founder. Now, Tether co-founder Reeve Collins told Cointelegraph that President Trump's involvement in stablecoins paves the way for the rest of the world to adopt the asset class. And we see partnerships happening all the time, not with just Tether. Like, I think our next article is going to go over Circles expanding into Abu Dhabi. So yeah, stablecoins are definitely moving a lot faster than CBDCs, that's for sure. Now, while the United States dollars denominated stablecoins dominate the stablecoin and real-world asset tokenization game, other competitors are coming into play, according to Tether's co-founder, Reeve Collins. Now, speaking to Cointelegraph in Dubai, Collins said that while dollar-backed stablecoins may be dominant, other currencies and assets may compete to back stablecoins. The stablecoin definitely helps preserve the dollar dominance, especially in the crypto space, Collins said, and the dollar is kind of the reserve currency of crypto. But now there are other currencies coming into play, but more importantly, it's not currencies, it's other types of backing, he added. Now, Collins said that other assets used to back stablecoins may compete with US dollars by bringing a higher yield to users. And Tether co-founder says that tokenized assets can be backed by stablecoins. Now, Collins, who works bringing stablecoin yield for users through Pi protocol, told Cointelegraph that apart from currencies, money market funds, other commodities, and gold could back stablecoins in the future. Now, when you can back it with money market funds, for instance, that generate a higher yield than T-bills and other things like that are coming on chain, where there's a lot of yield that will be generated, those will take precedence, said Collins. Now, Collins also said that these will start winning because they bring higher user returns. And furthermore, the executive also said that real-world asset tokenization could play a role in stablecoin backing. Now, the executive told Cointelegraph that since all types of assets can be tokenized, these can be used to back stablecoins in the future. Now, you're going to have a lot of choices other than just dollars, he added. And he also talked about Trump-linked stablecoins lays the foundation for the rest of the world right now. So, but because of Trump getting involved, the World Liberty Finance having their own stablecoin, was that USD1? I think that's what it was called. It's really just laying the foundation for everything. But in March, the World Liberty Financial Project, backed by U.S. President Donald Trump, launched its stablecoin on BNB Chain and Ethereum. However, the project said that the tokens were not tradable yet. According to Collins, the stablecoin entry of a Trump-backed project means that stablecoins are now fully accepted. The executive believes that everyone will get involved in stablecoins because of the move. This includes institutions, governments, and financial technology companies to do it. Now, the President of the United States launched a stablecoin, and it's impressive. It lays foundation for the rest of the world to do it as well, he said. So, yeah, so it's pretty awesome that he did do that. And yeah, so stablecoins are rising. It's keeping the dollar up for now. But what other currencies was he referring to? Was he referring to Bitcoin, Litecoin? What else was he referring to? XRP has their own stablecoin, or was he really just talking about stablecoins are going to be maybe a lot more used than the dollar is? So that's what's going on with the US dollar. It is facing competition now because, again, stablecoins are here. It's 1-to-1. A lot of people in the crypto space would definitely prefer to use that over the dollar if they didn't have to. But for getting on board crypto, sometimes you do need a little fiat to do so. But once you got it, I think they rather have a stable coin instead of just moving it back. Now, hold on. Who's texting? Who's texting me? Ed, nope. I will answer those calls later. But let us move on to our next article on Circle gets Abu Dhabi regulatory nod to expand in the Middle East. So again, yeah, stablecoins are expanding in the space out there, and we're seeing more adoption come along with it as well. But Circle has received in principle approval from Abu Dhabi regulators, moving closer to launching regulated stablecoin services and expanding global USDC adoption. Now, USDC stablecoin issuer Circle has received in principle approval from the Financial Service Regulatory Authority of the Abu Dhabi global market, the company announced on April 29th. Now, the approval moves that Circle closer to obtaining a full financial service permission license, allowing it to operate as a regulated money service provider in the United Arab Emirates. Now, the firm said in an official press release that Jeremy Allaire, Circle's co-founder and CEO, said that the approval advances our strategy to establish a deep roots in markets embracing the on-chain economy. He added that it also underscores Circle's enduring commitment to global stablecoin oversight, strengthening trust, compliance, and adoption worldwide, while laying a resilient foundation for the internet financial system. Now, here was photo showcasing the article, what Jeremy said, how the UAE is paving the way for responsible innovators to build internal financial systems, and they're excited about Circle's contribution to this. Now, Circle also partnered with Hub 71. So in addition to regulatory progress, Circle announced a partnership with the Hub 71, Abu Dhabi's tech ecosystem, as part of the collaboration. Now, the two firms plan to work together on projects within ADGM's digital regulatory sandbox. And Circle will also join Hub 71's digital asset group, sharing its experience with a community of more than 500 tech startups and investors. Now, Circle's flagship USDC token is the second largest stablecoin in terms of market cap. As of now, there are 62.03 billion USDC tokens in circulation, according to data from CoinMarketCap. Now, meanwhile, Circle has been pushing into new global markets amid rising interest in the stablecoin. Now, in July 2024, Circle became the first global stablecoin issuer to comply with European Union markets and crypto assets regulation. In Japan, Circle expanded its presence through a partnership with SBI Holdings on March 26, 2025, and as well as SBI VC Trade, a subsidiary of the SBI Holdings, launched USDC trading, making it the first stablecoin approved under Japan's regulatory framework. So they are expanding everywhere. Now, the UAE aims to position itself as a major Web3 hub. The United Arab Emirates has been actively working to establish itself as a global Web3 hub, leveraging progressive regulation and strategic partnerships to attract leading digital asset firms. In August of 2024, the country ranked third in a crypto adoption index released by Henley & Partners, an investment migration consultancy firm. On April 6, Dubai's real estate and crypto regulatory authorities signed a new agreement aimed at expanding digital asset adoption in the real estate sector, and the agreement will link Dubai's real estate registry with property tokenization through a governance system. So that's everything Circle has been up to and advancing. Like, they've already progressed into Japan's financial market. They're getting just about done with the UAE and Abu Dhabi, and like a lot of stuff's going on in Abu Dhabi. They got really cheap electricity out there too. So when it comes to crypto mining, that's a good place to go, which I think one of our team members, maybe our CEO, is going to be heading out there to take a look at some mining rigs up there. So yeah, the crypto club is diving into mining, loans. They just mentioned our home to loans, our home to hodl program. Like, these clubs are expanding like no other. And just like Circle and stablecoins out there, like the crypto space is booming right now. So this was all of our stablecoin news. Let's move on to now an article on how the DOJ is seeking 20-year sentence for the Celsius founder, Alex Mashinsky. Now, if you're not sure about what happened with the Celsius platform, it was like kind of back in 2021 when we had our last bear market like start taking place. FTX was going, Three Arrows Capital, Celsius was one of them. So it looks like now they're seeking 20-year sentence for the guy of Celsius. So let's go through this article. So prosecutors argued that Mashinsky's crime sparked losses of $550 million, while he personally profited by more than $48 million. So he made some profits, but at whose expense? But prosecutors have asked a judge to sentence Celsius network founder Alex Mashinsky to 20 years behind bars. It comes as investors who lost their savings when the doomed crypto lender collapsed call for him to spend the rest of his life in prison. Now, in a sentencing memo, the U.S. Justice Department said that he should face just the punishment for his years-long campaign of lies and self-dealing that left in its wake billions in losses and thousands of victimized customers. Now, the filing asserts that Mashinsky misrepresented how Celsius handled customer deposits, fabricated the company's profitability, and placed his customers' funds at the mercy of uncollateralized loans and undisclosed market bets. Now, Mashinsky has pled guilty to 2 of the 7 fraud counts against him: commodities fraud and conspiracy to manipulate the value of CEL tokens. Now, prosecutors argue that his crimes sparked losses of $550 million, while he personally profited by more than $48 million of it. Now, his crimes were not the product of negligence, naivety, or bad luck. They were the result of deliberate, calculated decisions to lie, deceive, and steal in pursuit of personal fortune, the memo reads. Now, the filing goes on to claim that Mashinsky has engaged in elaborate linguistic acrobatics in an effort to avoid taking responsibility. And according to the Justice Department, a 20-year jail term would reflect the seriousness of his crimes, deter other fraudsters, and would be consistent with the sentences handed to prosecuted in a similar case. Now, pointing to the 150-year sentence given to Bernie Madoff and the 25 years handed to FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, prosecutors wrote that defendants who steal billions of dollars through a calculated deceit deserve decades, not years, in prison. Now, the memo went on to warn that Mashinsky's sentencing submission shows he has not truly reckoned with what he did, and he has shown remorse only for the fact that his scheme unraveled and he was caught. Now, if Mashinsky cannot admit the full scope of his crimes, there is no reasonable assurance that he will not commit them again. Now, Mashinsky has previously argued that he is worthy of a lesser sentence than SBF because he pleaded guilty, but prosecutors reject this and argue that there are factors that suggest he should receive an even harsher punishment. Now, pointing out that the Celsius founder enriched himself to a greater degree, the filing adds that while Bankman-Fried was in his 20s and argued that his actions were attributable to youth and inexperience, Mashinsky, who was in his 60s, was indisputably old enough and experienced enough to better appreciate the crimes he was committing. Now, his sentence is due on May 8th, so we will let you know what goes on with it. And now it is a big difference. Sam Bankman, 20s, he's very young, naive, doesn't have the experience. But when it comes to a person who's in his 60s, that's tons of experience right there that he should know what he was doing was wrong. So I'll let you know what continues on with this Mashinsky news and what his final sentencing will be. And again, we'll probably find out on May 8th, so that is in 2 weeks. So that was that news for you. Now let's move on to another crypto lending platform, but it's not a bad one, but they are coming back to the US. So crypto lender Nexo announces a U.S. re-entry. Now, Nexo return completes a reversal from 2022 exit when CFPB investigations focus suspension of the U.S. operations. Now, how can I get this pop-up ad out? Do I gotta zoom out? Yes, I do. Boom. There we go. We don't need no pop-up ads in there. Probably just a scam, rug pulled, pump and dump coin. So don't get that coin with that pop-up ad, guys. But optimism, or where was I? So here we go. So the Nexo, the global digital asset wealth platform, has announced its return to the United States market. The development was revealed during an exclusive business event featuring keynote addresses from Donald Trump Jr., Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, Gila Gamila, Israel's Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, and Antony Trenchev, co-founder of Nexo. Now, optimism and support for the crypto innovation. According to an April 28th press release shared with Crypto Potato, supported by $11 billion in assets under management, the company's return to the U.S. comes amid renewed optimism and entrepreneurial momentum. The crypto lender will offer American retail and institutional clients access to its products, including high-yield crypto savings accounts, asset-backed credit lines, advanced trading options, and institutional-grade liquidity solutions. Now, Nexo co-founder Antony Trenchev officially confirmed that the company's relaunch in the country, America is back, and so is Nexo. He credited the vision and leadership of President Donald Trump, his administration, and his family for creating an environment where innovation is encouraged, and Nexo is returning to America stronger, smarter, and determined to win. Yes. Now, I'm doing the yes on the company returning to America because, again, I don't know how many times I've said it. It's like these last 4 years with the last administration, we stifled innovation and like we pushed like institutions, businesses away from the United States, and not even sure if they return. But with Trump and his new policy and his regime, the crypto task force and everything, like we were making so many big changes that we're now seeing like some effects of it. It's like, oh, they're coming back because it's more friendlier now. It's getting a little bit more just so they understand what they got to do to follow the rules. So this is great news happening now. So hopefully we get some more businesses to return to the US after, again, that last administration kicked them out. But Donald Trump Jr. spoke on the importance of cryptocurrencies for the United States, emphasizing their role in maintaining the country's economic leadership and technological advancement. I think crypto is the future of finance, said the president's son, and we see the opportunity for financial sector and want to ensure that we bring that back to the US, he continued. Now, he also added that establishing a supportive regulatory framework would be crucial to empowering entrepreneurs and ensuring the nation's competitiveness in the digital economy, emphasizing that the key to everything crypto is going to be regulatory framework. Now, the event, headlined by Donald Trump Jr. and Gila Gamaliel, gathered prominent members of the global business community and leading figures from the investments and innovation sectors. Now, what regulatory challenges that led to the exit? Well, Nexo's re-entry follows a challenging period marked by its gradual withdrawal from the US market in December of 2022. At the time, the firm cited regulatory uncertainty and conflicting guidance between state and federal authorities as the primary reasons for its exit. And that's what all these companies were experiencing. So it's like, you know what, fine, we're just going to go to somewhere friendlier and just actually has the rules in place. Now, despite engaging in over 18 months of discussions with regulators, the crypto lender struggled to find a solution to its problem. Efforts to comply, including offboarding clients from New York and Vermont and suspending new registrations for its earned interest product in several states. Ultimately, inconsistent regulatory positions and a prolonged investigation by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau forced Nexo to stop its American operations. Now, the company's return follows a similar move by OKX, which announced less than 2 weeks ago that it was reopening its U.S. crypto exchange and launching a new Web3 wallet for the nation's users. So again, they're not the first ones to come on back. What was that? OKX. Did I just skip by that article last week? Maybe I did, but that's just awesome news. Like, crypto businesses are coming back to America. Let's make us the crypto hub. So woo. So yeah, the lender Nexo will be returning. That's another option for lending against your Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies out there. And I know we're still working on ours here at the Crypto Club. Like, it's kind of there, but not really just yet. We're so close. We're just about to get there. So Nexo, Celsius, if you're still around, prepare for the competition. We're coming. So that was that news article for you. Now let's take a quick little break before we continue on with the rest of the news. So be right back.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
And we are back. So yeah, guys, if you want more info on that, give that number a call. It's also streaming right down here. Give it a call or text, or even shoot them an email at loansinfo@bitcoinbankcryptoclub.com, and we can get you some more info on that. But let's continue on with the news. What else do we got? I got some altcoin news for you, and it's on the Oasis protocol. That's one coin I have in my wallet, Rose, which I still got to top up that bag since it's dipped. But it looks like they unveil a verifiable AI agent for crypto trading. So, woo, so pretty cool. Let's hear a little bit more about this after I take away this pop-up ad. Nope, can't do that. All right, so here we go. Let's go through this article. So far, most crypto trading bots remain black boxes. Oasis Protocol has unveiled a different one, but one that also protects privacy. This move comes amid a broader surge in AI-powered crypto trading tools. However, many of these bots operate without meaningful transparency, raising concerns among retail and institutional users alike. Now, Oasis Protocol unveils WT3, a new autonomous AI trading agent designed to solve crypto trading transparency and trust problems. Now, the WT3 operates inside a secure, trusted execution environment while producing on-chain cryptographic proofs of its actions, letting users verify the bot's behavior without exposing its sensitive trading strategies. Now, crypto trading bots face dual problems of privacy and verifiability out there. Now, if they run in public, other traders can see all the trades from users. However, if they remain private, then users themselves can't know if the bot is doing what it's supposed to do. So for this reason, Oasis Protocol, or the Rose token, has unveiled a new verifiable AI agent for crypto trading, one that protects privacy while also being transparent for users. It does so through trusted execution environments, otherwise known as TEEs, which remain private while generating cryptographic proofs that can be used to verify their operation. Now, the bot will begin trading on April 29th with an initial funding of $100,000 from the Oasis Protocol Foundation. And in the future, users will be able to stake stablecoins to participate in strategy yields, while 50% of the returns will support Rose token buybacks and burns. Now, WT3's first strategies will incorporate Ocean Protocol's predictor trading signals built using Oasis's runtime off-chain logic framework, and WT3 represents a shift toward confidential, verifiable AI agents in a DeFi nature. Now, future versions will also allow users to stake into strategies or even deploy their own customizable trading bots. So it looks like you're getting a lot of options using this AI bot. Now, personally, I don't use any AI bots. I'd rather just trust myself, even though I know the AI sector is huge. It's helpful. I use ChatGPT, Twitter's Grok for so much, making pictures, making newsletters, helping me out with just anything I need. So AI is big, but when it comes to like trading and crypto, I still want to be hands-on myself with that. I don't want to just trust a bot for it. But that's just my own opinion on it. But they are getting smart, so who knows? Maybe one day I will end up picking up an AI bot just to see how it plays out. But the launch comes as Oasis positions itself more aggressively at the intersection of decentralized finance and AI, following the broader trend and blockchain platforms embracing confidential computing. Now, in an interview with Crypto.news on April 28th, Matej Janez, head of the partnerships at Oasis Protocol Foundation, explained that the advantages of these bots and what they mean for users. So he said, recently there has been a push to promote AI bots to retail users, but what is the potential for AI bots in this market? And what's the appeal for retail users? Well, the appeal of AI agents / bots for retail users is probably underestimated right now, and they have the highest potential right now in the crypto markets. Now, crypto always had a problem with onboarding due to the UX of creating wallets and securely storing keys, as well as having funds on the right chains to be able to interact. And AI agents are meant to help the users and act on their behalf, or based on their intention, simplifying the experience through a known interface. Now, this is a key element that will make a significant change in the onboarding of new users. Now, there have been a significant number of people who are aware of how LLMs work, and they know that these models make mistakes and hallucinate. Usually, users can correct these mistakes, but with autonomous trading agents, mistakes can cost users a lot of money. So how does your agent tackle this issue? Well, he said, well, that is correct. LLMs can still make mistakes or can even be tricked, or what we call jailbroken, into doing actions that are against their internal logic. And that is why having a fully autonomous agent at this point in time is not the right move yet. And for that reason, WT3's trading and capital management system isn't connected to an LLM, but is rather hard-coded into the agent's logic. Now, will the WT3 agent be fully autonomous, or do you reserve the right to intervene directly in the trades at some point? The AI agent will be autonomous, as we won't have access to modify things on them, and like modifying or canceling trades at all, they can't do it. But although we do retain admin control over the TEE enclave, which means we can update the agent's logic of that will be visible on chain through a change in the remote attestation, and there's nothing that we can secretly do or change. Everything is tracked, traced, and verified on chain. Now, we know that trust is a key concern for business clients. Do you know what the level of adoption of third-party AI bots is among institutions, and do they consider the lack of transparency a risk? Well, crypto agents are still black boxes, says Oasis Protocol, and he says, I'd say institutions are still very much used to the reputation trust model, where they trust Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, etc., because of their status and track record. Even though there is not a lot of transparency in their AI operations, but as soon as you move into the crypto space, trustlessness becomes a key factor. LLMs had the first round and have become widely accepted and adopted. Agents and frameworks like MCP are the next round of AI adoption, and here is what we're going to see more of: an overlap between Web 2 and Web 3 agents, which I believe will bring a lot more demand for verifiable and trust minimization from the said institutions. Now, since most AI crypto trading bots are black boxes for users, this presents a unique risk. In your estimate, how many so-called AI trading bots use actual AI, and how many are just Ponzi schemes riding the AI hype? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, he says that, well, that's quite a spicy question. As you've said, the majority of crypto AI agents are black boxes, so it's very difficult to distinguish between the true AI ones and the ones that try to mimic an AI to extract from the community. And this is exactly what we are working towards changing, and code verifiability and reproducibility are key to being able to have confidence in the agents, and this is what our ROFL framework enables. WT3 is a flagship example of it. So, okay, so Oasis Protocol working on this, and like, where was I? I was like reading this, and then I just got a spicy question part of like just the main prompt for it. It's like, there is a risk to it? Are most AIs just Ponzi schemes? And again, most right now, because of the black boxes, it's like we don't know if they're just a copycat just jumping on the hype of AI. So yeah, so if Oasis Protocol does solve this problem, like you will probably see quite a handful of AI tokens just kind of disappear, lose all its value, because if they can verify and prove like it's an actual AI bot and AI technology, those would be the coins and projects that definitely do well in the future. So that is our Oasis Protocol news. Now let's move on to our final two articles involving El Salvador. What's happening with El Salvador? They were the first ones to make Bitcoin legal tender. And then I know there was some like IMF news out there where they had to make a deal, it took a loan, but they're still buying Bitcoin. So I know I don't think they got rid of the legal tender status. Don't think that they did do that. But the thing that did change in the law was just like businesses aren't forced now to accept crypto if they don't want to. I think that was the only thing that changed. But let's see how they are still buying Bitcoin despite the IMF compliance rules. So El Salvador's Bitcoin stash grows to 6,161 Bitcoin as the IMF begins its first program review tied to the economic and fiscal reform. So El Salvador's Bitcoin accumulation quietly persists under the IMF's watch. Now, President Nayib Bukele's government formally paused its Bitcoin acquisitions by public sector entities to satisfy the International Monetary Fund loan condition. The country's Bitcoin office continues to quietly expand the country's national reserve. In the past month, El Salvador added another 32 Bitcoin worth more than $650,000, bringing its total holdings to 6,161.18 Bitcoin, valued at roughly $584 million. Now, consistent with its one Bitcoin a day policy, now under the $1.4 billion loan agreement signed in December, El Salvador committed to strict conditions, including rolling back mandatory Bitcoin acceptance laws and reducing public sector involvement in Bitcoin-related activities like the Chivo wallet program and FIDE Bitcoin Trust. So yeah, so they didn't take away the legal tender status. So Bitcoin is still an actual legalized currency. It's a legalized tender, and El Salvador is the first ones to do it. Just the agreement with the IMF, again, was to, like I said, not forcing businesses to accept crypto if they have the technology to do so, and then as well as just the public sector involvement in Bitcoin. So those are really the only two terms that they had to follow. But in terms of El Salvador, let me say that I can confirm that they do continue to comply with their commitment of a non-accumulation of Bitcoin by the overall fiscal sector, which is the performance criteria that we have. Now, the IMF Western Hemisphere Department Director Rodrigo Valdez said that during a Saturday press briefing for the Regional Economic Outlook, while IMF rules have frozen direct government's Bitcoin purchases, El Salvador's Bitcoin office operates in a space technically outside of the fiscal sector's defined boundaries, allowing the country to continue buying small daily amounts without breaching the loan deal. Now, here's that tweet from the Bitcoin office. El Salvador keeps stacking, even on Sundays. We will keep adding one more Bitcoin to our shared Bitcoin reserve every single day. And here's the chart showcasing their little purchases, about 1 Bitcoin a day. So yeah, El Salvador has been buying 1 Bitcoin every day. I'm pretty sure there's another person out there as well. So guys, get that Bitcoin where you still can. Like, even though this seems small, it's not comparable to like a MicroStrategy or BlackRock. Like, oh, they just bought this much. Like, these guys were the first ones. They were small. Like, they've acquired so much in the time they've been doing this, and like they are still going to benefit well more than a lot of other countries out there. But the program of El Salvador is just not about Bitcoin. It's much more. It's much deeper in structural reforms in terms of governance, in terms of transparency. Valdez said that, citing a lot of progress made on a fiscal reform and improvements in the macroeconomic management. Now, let's talk about El Salvador's Bitcoin strategy. So meanwhile, President Bukele remains defiantly committed to the Bitcoin strategy that has defined much of his administration's global brand. Back in March, Bukele publicly mocked suggestions that the Bitcoin plan would end under IMF's pressure. But this all stops in April. They said this all stops in June. Then he said this all stops in December. And then he said, nah, it's not stopping. So I remember that tweet. It was this one when everyone just thought like, oh, we're going to stop buying Bitcoin. But Bukele was just like, nope, we're going to keep buying. We're not stopping at all. If it didn't stop when the world ostracized us and most Bitcoiners abandoned us, it won't stop now and it won't stop in the future. Proof of work is proof greater than proof of whining, is what he said. But days later, the Bitcoin office announced further purchases, showing that the policy was alive, even if adapted. Now, to meet IMF conditions, El Salvador's Legislative Assembly passed changes to its Bitcoin law in January, stripping Bitcoin of its mandatory legal tender status for private transactions while retaining its optional currency. Now, these reforms, which take effect May 1st, also eliminate Bitcoin as an accepted means for paying taxes, another concession aimed at modifying international lenders. Now, beyond that $1.4 billion IMF package, the broader agreement is expected to unlock another $2 billion in development banking financing, support fiscal consolidation efforts, and boost investor confidence as El Salvador looks to tame its debt, which hit 85% of the GDP last year. Now, the IMF is currently preparing for its first program review, which will assess El Salvador's formal compliance and whether its Bitcoin activities undermine broader financial stability reforms. Valdez said that the IMF program aims to help El Salvador create the conditions for stronger private investments and stronger growth, supported by a much better macro and the dividends from the improved security. Now, with its current holdings, El Salvador is now ranks as the world's 6th largest sovereign Bitcoin holder behind the United States, China, United Kingdom, Ukraine, and Bhutan, according to the Bitcoin Treasury's data. So again, they're a small country. They got started first. So again, like they're not going to hold the number 1 position, but hey, being number 6 is really, really good. Because again, they started when nobody else wanted it. They thought they were crazy for doing so, but since then they have just kept thriving. Like, people moved over there. Like, when the US was like, again, hindering innovation here, people were always like, let's go to El Salvador. They have a lot of very good crypto friendly tools. So I think they got the Tether office to have a branch out there now as well. So much good stuff is happening in El Salvador, and there's still more to come, just like our next article on how they are now creating a Ministry of Education to launch educational Bitcoin curriculum for young students out there. So yeah, they are still advancing and just acquiring Bitcoin as well as educating their public on Bitcoin as well. So let's hear a little bit more about this educational curriculum. So through a new educational program for children aged 7 through 13, Bitcoin becomes part of everyday learning and is shaping the next generation. And here we have a cute little book with little images. Now, El Salvador is showing once again that it is leading the way with Bitcoin. And this time they're starting with the next generation. This week, the country's Ministry of Education and Bitcoin office, in collaboration with Lena Sheik's The Little Hodlers Project, announced it is officially launching a financial literacy program for school children aged 7 to 13. According to a press release sent to Bitcoin Magazine, El Salvador will be hosting the launch event as their national library this Sunday at 4 p.m. Now, the initiative is titled What is Money? And it aims to introduce young Salvadorans to fundamentally financial literacy and concepts such as Bitcoin at such an early and critical stage in their lives. Now, the pilot will roll out across 50 public schools in La Libertad, the coastal department that has been at the forefront of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption, and approximately 1,000 students will participate initially, learning about the history of money, the difference between needs and wants, budgeting basics, savings, and why Bitcoin represents a groundbreaking financial innovation. And is this a little like PowerPoint they got of it? Oh, did we get more of it? Oh, please say we got more. Nope. Let's see, the education law. Oh, so they actually really gave us like the full presentation, but it is in Spanish, so let's just continue on. But Lena seeks the creative force behind the Little Hodlers developed colorful, engaging educational material specifically for young minds. The education will kick off in grades 2 through 3 and will be followed in the coming years in grades 4, 5, and 6. Now, each student will receive 3 hours per week of Bitcoin and financial education, which is perfect, as we saw yesterday from TJ Miller, the comedian, the actor, Bitcoiner, is saying like celebrities can't take 50 hours of their time just to learn about Bitcoin. But by these students having 3 hours a week, was it, that they're going to start learning, oh, they're going to be so much smarter than everyone around the world. But the program built on El Salvador's growing investment in Bitcoin education, including the Bitcoin Diploma program for older students and the Kubo Plus, a scholarship-based initiative for university-level Bitcoin development. Now, this new initiative builds on the important groundwork laid by organizations like Me Premier Bitcoin, which has spent the past few years offering free Bitcoin education to thousands of Salvadorans through its Bitcoin Diploma program. Now, with the What is Money, El Salvador is expanding that vision, reaching children even earlier and embedding Bitcoin literacy into the hearts of its national education system. El Salvador already made history for being the first country to fully embrace and adopt Bitcoin, and now is further integrating Bitcoin into the education system. Now, the country is prepping its youth not just to adapt to the future, but to lead it. Globally, this is a profound moment. The first true Bitcoin generation is being born with more official Bitcoin education. El Salvador is aiming to set up their children for success by teaching them to understand money in a way most adults today never have. And it's true. We were never taught about financing in high school, middle school. Like the only economic class is like, oh yeah, you're gonna need to balance a checkbook. They didn't even teach us how to do our taxes at all. The school doesn't want you to know about money because they want you to stay poor and uneducated. But again, that just hindered our future's adoption by just hurting the next generation who really has control of the future of the world. So El Salvador, you guys are killing it. Like you guys are literally teaching the next generation who will be ruling the system. And finally, let's teach them about money, because again, even adults don't really know about their money, how that's really like the true Ponzi scheme out there. It's like, it's all backed by debt. There's nothing backing it. It's all just because the government says it is what makes it is. So yeah, so way to go, El Salvador, for everything you're doing. Keep it up. And yeah, so that's everything going on with the news today. Where are we at with the, let's see, Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let me load up that page for us to see where we're at. But Bitcoin's currently at 95,000 right now, so woo, not bad. Let's see, this page is loading up. Let's just take it there. Come on, baby. We are at 53, woo! So yep, still neutral territory. People aren't fearful, they aren't greedy, but they are moving in that greed territory. So let's always remember the saying, because we have sayings for a reason. When people are fearful, it's a good time to buy, but when we are greedy, their market is due for a correction. So just take those phrases to account. And altcoin season, we're still on 18 out of 100. It's still Bitcoin season right now. So until we see Bitcoin start rising and the other altcoins go, then it's going to be alt season. But that is it for the news today. Hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. If you have any crypto questions, give one of the crypto clubs a call. We'll be glad to help you out. So I will see you guys, if you're members of the club, at today's class on the final boss in the Bitcoin cycle. So yeah, that's our class today in 30 minutes. So I will see you guys there. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at noon for our next crypto news show. So take care, guys.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.